Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Film FM. Unfortunately, I'm recording this in post later on because episode 4 got corrupted, so that's gone. That's gone to the world. So instead, we're just dropping episode 5 as the last one of the year, and then next year we're going to come back at you with some new episodes and stuff. So in the recording, the people don't know that it's the episode 4. But it is, so keep that in mind and enjoy the podcast. We'll see you next year. We've got some good stuff lined up. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Film FM. This is episode 5. Today, I'm Alex and I'm joined by the usual people. So we've got...
Hang on, mate, sorry. You just said I'm Alex. Is that I'm Alex is in the YouTube sensation I'm Alex on YouTube?
We are actually the same person.
Are you actually?
We are, yeah, which is quite interesting.
Shout out, I'm Alex on YouTube.
So this is Alfie, obviously.
Yeah, it's Alfie again.
And everyone's favourite, Connor.
Dickhead.
Connor. Yeah, everyone's favourite. Yeah. So, as you know, if you listen to the last 2 episodes, there was a general plan of action to have our good old buddy, our good old pal, Jamie, on, but he's decided to not respond to anyone.
Yep, that's three episodes in a row now that he's
missed.
He's missed.
So, because he's probably in bed and he'll message me later telling me about how he was asleep or whatever.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I was in bed. Oh, sorry.
Fucking bastard. So instead we've got...
snake you guys. Why'd you keep on being a snake?
We've got a much better guest, a person I much prefer, my good old buddy, Lewis Adkins.
Lewis Adkins, everyone. Lewis Adkins.
Thank you, guys. I feel very
man?
honoured to be here.
How are you?
I can't wait to talk about the FNAF movie.
Oh,
Whether you like it or not, we'll get into
We'll
that,
get into it.
I'm happy to be here regardless.
It's all coming later on. Don't go anywhere.
Exactly.
Okay, so as Adkins has said, we're going to be talking about the FNAF movie because it's relevant to when we recorded this, maybe not to when it comes out, but we'll certainly give it a go. So, bit of background. Obviously, the FNAF movie is based on the video games, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah.
Which, do you guys know what year they first started coming out?
I'm going to take a guess and say 2015.
Connor?
2013?
Ladkins?
I'm going to say 2012. Around that similar time here.
2014, so you're all pretty close.
We're all pretty close.
So... the creator of the games is Scott Cawthon, and he used to make a lot of Christian games that no one liked. And they said that one of the games he made, I don't know if this one was Christian themed, Chipper and Sons Lumber Co, something like that.
Yeah, I've heard about
They
that
complained
one,
that it was too like the characters looked like horrible animatronics. So he went, "Fuck you, dudes," and he made the first FNAF game with that very intention. So
creepy animatronics.
The basic concept is, that you're the night guard at a pizza place called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which it's Chuck E. Cheese, which is an American thing, really. We don't really have it here, but they have like animatronic mascots. And unfortunately for the security guard in these games, they move because they're possessed by dead children and the like.
Yes, 5 dead children possess these animatronics, and they roam the halls, hunting down a poor, unfortunate security guard.
Yeah, so... the thing is, so the first game comes out. I was a pretty big fan of it. And then within 4 months, the second one came out.
He was on a roll with them releases, man.
Yeah, so the second one's like a prequel. What do you guys think of the first game? I want to talk about the games a bit before we go into the movie,
It's alright, isn't it? It's very, it's proper scary maze game type.
I think it's quite good. I think it's effective.
I remember back in the day, everyone on YouTube, all the biggest YouTubers at the time were all playing it. It was quite a popular thing, I think. Like Markiplier and all them, they were all playing it and stuff. It was quite a big popular thing at the time, I think. But as for the games themselves, I like them.
I think they took a steady decline.
Yeah, the second one I think is also good, where you've got to put a mask on.
I think they're all good.
I think the first 3 are good.
I know. I think the first 4 are good. After 4, it drops off a bit. In my opinion.
3 I think is a good ending, and you think, and they're okay, the killer behind the murders, because that's why the animatronics are moving. He burns to death in the third one, but then they made a fourth one anyway, called The Final Chapter, which is another prequel where you're like a kid in a bedroom.
Yeah, and it's not actually the final.
It wasn't the final chapter because, but those 4 games came out in the span of about 2 years, probably under that. And then they made like FNAF World, that weird RPG, which was quite shit.
I forgot about that.
And they made Sister Location, which is kind of naff if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And then they made Pizzeria Simulator, which is like it was like masqueraded as a little crappy free game, but it was actually like a full game. And then it provided an ending where the Springtrap or William Afton, the main villain, got burnt to death again. And people thought, all right, that's it. And then they made Ultimate Custom Night, which I think is supposed to be like him in hell or something. So people were like, okay, it's over. But it wasn't over, because then they made like a VR game.
Yes.
But
wasn't the VR game just like the original 4 games but in VR?
Yeah, and...
I played the VR game. I didn't actually own the game. My uncle had it.
Oh,
he had a VR set.
I have played the VR version.
I have.
Did you like it, or did you?
I think it's fucking scary. Cause like,
that's what I mean.
I'm not scared of the first game, of like the first FNAF game, but when I'm in VR and I look to the left of me and there's a giant hulking monster robot above me, it's proper scary.
Everything's more giant in VR.
It's very scary in VR, I must admit. So
it's terrifying.
Honestly, because there's a non-VR mode, I played a lot of it not in VR because I was a bit scared. But so they made that, and then while you thought it was over, it was like the William Afton, the villain, the purple guy, he's back again as like an AI this time or something, and it just got more and more ridiculous.
Yeah, it gets out of control very quickly.
They released Security Breach more recently, which I thought was shit, and believe it or not, fucking Springtrap's alive again or something. I'm using all the different names. So the killer is either William Afton, the purple guy, or Springtrap. Those are the names.
He has different aliases, but they're all the same person, aren't they?
Like all the Saints Row games, how they sort of just slowly got more ridiculous the more of them came out. It started really.
It's weird to me how obsessed the universe of this game is with like animatronics, like weird animatronic mascots. It's like in Security Breach, there's like a whole fucking like mall or something based around like them. It's just
it's a lot.
It's too much.
We should have got like Matt Pat in here from Game Theory. That would have been a cracking episode.
I'm sure he's dying a bit on this. I think.
What would he say at the line?
Bit too busy.
I think that the games. I think the story's kind of shit, to be honest. So when the reviews were coming out for the movie and people were talking about how shit it is, I was like, the fucking story of the games makes no fucking sense. I thought it would be bad, but of course they casted Matthew Lillard in the film, so I had to go watch it. But so we have all seen the FNAF movie. I'd hope
we have.
I mean, I watched it with you.
I watched it.
Oh yeah, me and Connor watched it together. So yeah, I'd be pretty surprised.
Date.
Yeah, it was very wholesome.
Second date, but
second date.
After you ditched us for the first one.
No, listen, I didn't ditch you. Don't say that because it makes me sound like a bad
person. I forgive him for that. He's not Jamie.
I forgive you. You're not
Throw
Jamie.
him under the bus there.
Yeah, come on, man. Jesus.
You're not Jamie.
I mean,
I saw it with Shaban, so that was interesting.
We might have Shaban on for one of these episodes at some point. I think that'd be nice if he's up for it.
Did he like that film?
He did like the film.
Yeah, me and Shaban didn't mind.
We were
hoping... probably because... Sorry,
we were hoping to get Jamie on, the guy who betrayed us, because he liked the film. So we thought we'd have another perspective, but I guess not. So prepare for an episode of shitting on it.
We're just going to verbally abuse this film.
We did want to bring in an incorrect opinion, but... Sadly, we couldn't find one that would show.
An incorrect opinion. Okay.
I mean, I didn't think it was that bad, but you guys have played the games obviously more than I have. So you probably have more of an understanding than what I do when it comes to the games.
Okay, so the film, it was announced in probably 2015.
Yeah, it's been kind of in the back burner for years.
Warner Brothers had it, and then they've given it to Blumhouse, which is probably the better. I would say the better choice if the film wasn't. It's like dog shit. And it came out, and it finally came out in our country at least, October 25th, 2023.
UK. For anyone
so yeah, we live in Britain.
Britain.
So the film it's a similar plot to the first one. I mean, although it's got elements of the third one mixed in. So Mike Schmidt, which is the same guy you play as in the first game,
yes,
he has to go and work at Freddy Fazbear's. Only that this time it's abandoned. Like it's been closed down already.
Yeah, so it was like a diner and a pizzeria in like the 80s, and it got shut down because the 5 kids got murdered, and it's just been left abandoned and derelict ever since.
And Mike isn't too happy himself because his brother was also he went missing one day at like a family picnic because someone kidnapped him,
Yes.
and he's not been able to find him. So Mike is played by Josh Hutcherson, which I can't say I've seen him in anything. I think this film has a lot of like people I don't know.
I only know him from the Hunger Games.
He's from the Hunger Games.
Is he in the Hunger
He's
Games?
in the Hunger Games. He's Peter in
I'm
the Hunger
surprised
Games.
you didn't know who he was.
Who? Which one's Peter? Is he the guy who like masquerades himself in like
as the floor?
The floor.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
him.
the floor.
He's like the main guy at the Hunger Games.
I see.
Yeah, so
10
there's
years
Katniss Everdeen, who's
And
obviously the
there's-
main character from District 12, and then there's Peter Malark, who like is the guy who goes with her.
I've
from
got his
District 12.
Wikipedia page up here. He is okay. Yeah, all right. He is most known for the Peter
Peter Malark.
That's a strange way to spell Peter.
I know, it's weird.
But he's 31. I mean, did anyone have any illusion that this film was going to be good going in?
No, I wanted it to be
Not
good.
a chance.
I was like, oh, it might be good. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It might be good, but more than likely, it'll probably be awful. And I was right. It was awful.
I went into it thinking, okay, well, me personally, I don't like horror films that rely on jump scares. I gave this the benefit of the doubt and thought, okay, I didn't think, just because I thought it was going to be naff anyway, I thought, you know what, if it does rely on jump scares and it gets me with a few, whatever, I'll count it as a success.
It's that balloon boy, man.
The
honestly.
problem is, it didn't even get me with one.
I kept thinking that I was watching it, and because I think in the cinema, while the film, a lot of horror films don't scare me. I feel like when I'm in the cinema, you put it up on a big screen, I'll be scared of anything that jumps out. So I thought, oh, okay, the jump scares are going to get me. And like the opening scene, the opening scene in the movie is like the last night guard like trying to escape.
Yeah.
And he is killed. It was supposed to be what's his name? Markiplier, but due to scheduling conflicts, they couldn't get him.
Okay.
So during that scene, I thought there's going to be a jump scare. It's going to get me. I kept thinking a jump scare was going to get me, and it never did. Not one of them.
I get scared easily by not like but caught off guard. And it didn't even scare me.
No.
I thought it was a kids' movie. Is that probably the reason why it didn't scare any of us?
Well, it was a 15.
I thought it was a 12.
It's a 15, but it's a 15A, which is the
weird.
first time I've ever heard of one.
It was like a weird blend of kids movie, but also adult. It couldn't make its mind up.
I got the
wanted
impression
to be.
it was a 12,
I
even though the
can't
rating
see
was
why
15A.
it's not a 12.
I think it should
To
be.
be
Because
honest.
they couldn't make their mind up. It seemed they did a lot of weird things that would warrant it a higher rating, like cutting that woman in half. And
We'll talk about the kills of it in a bit.
yeah, there's stuff in it that would be considered more gruesome, but the problem is there's also like so much off-screen stuff.
Yeah.
As well.
I think it probably would have been better if it just stuck to like an 18 rating. I think it probably would have had more potential.
If they really went for it.
If they really went for it, full send.
So,
man.
I've got sort of a list of stuff I want to talk about, but I just want to go through the plot more. I think. So this Mike Schmidt, he's a security guard in like a mall until he beats the fuck out of a guy, and then he has to go to his career counsellor Steve Raglan, who is played by Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
Which is, to be frank, the only reason I watched the movie.
Saving grace, almost.
Oh, certainly. So Steve Raglan, he finds out about that Mike needs a new job, and he gives him this job. I will come back to Matthew Lillard because he has more of a relevance later on, naturally. But clearly, I think he is the highlight. Anyway, so there's the animatronic mascots, of course. So we've got Freddy Fazbear, the mascot. We've got Bonnie, the bunny, Chica the chicken, Foxy the pirate fox, and who am I missing? Golden Freddy is in it briefly.
Yeah, so Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy. There's 5. There's 5.
There's 5. You've got like the 3, Bonnie, Foxy. No, sorry, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy.
Yeah, they're the main 3.
Those are the main 3. They're on stage. And there's also Pirate Cove, where Foxy is.
Yeah.
And Golden Freddy,
he's the weird one.
He's not like on stage or anything because he's quite damaged, but he makes like a brief appearance later in the film. I mean, because you see all the kids. So there's 5 kids, 5 animatronics, but like you don't see I think him that much.
Golden Freddy was like the kid that possessed him was one of the first kids to get murdered by William Afton.
Because I think.
And he shoved like the Golden Freddy suit was like an old suit. That
I think it's much older. Yeah, they don't use it
He was
anymore.
like in parts and service or whatever, just kind of like thrown in there.
Because in the original game, the only time you can see Golden Freddy is like if he like appears on a poster, and like if you see the poster, then like he'll appear in your room and he'll jump scare you.
Yeah.
But he's not really like in it that much. Although he does, he's like a cameo in like every
he's more like
game.
a weird like mystery. Like what is he? What's the significance on the importance behind him?
I mean, we'll go into more. Like I can go more into that in a bit, but so it just involves every fucking night Mike, as his security guard, he just kind of like goes to sleep.
Yeah, he doesn't do his fucking job. He just sleeps.
Doesn't do his job.
He's just shit. He just goes to sleep
because he thinks that like every time he dreams, he has the same dream of like when his brother went missing, and he's trying to like figure out who did it because he thinks that he can like remember what happened.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to go across the cliche that he's a character that's vulnerable.
I mean, I suppose he's a vulnerable man. He's a bit of a...
he's a weak man. He just goes to sleep.
Almost.
He's literally sleeping on the job.
What I will say, most people who do night shifts don't go to sleep during their work hours.
Yeah.
They go to sleep in the day.
You go to sleep during daytime.
Yeah, that's what people on night shifts do, most of them. Well, most of the normal ones, anyway.
And
I mean, he has sleeping tablets.
Yeah, he's doing it on purpose, man.
On the day.
And every dream that he has, he sees these 5 kids... which are obviously the 5 animatronics, and he tries to catch them.
And he tries to chase them down. It's a bit dodgy, mate.
Mm-hmm. Like one time he like nearly gets the foxy one, and he gets like scratched or whatever, and it's like in the real life there. So he's doing all this because his sister is, he needs to raise his sister, and he doesn't want like his shitty aunt to take his sister away from him. So he's doing this job.
Yeah, so he's looking after his sister himself because his parents. Does it? What actually happens to his parents?
I think his dad left and his mom is dead.
Yeah, I think his mom died, and then afterwards his dad couldn't handle it, so he left.
Okay. And of course his younger brother is also dead.
His younger brother's dead, so it was just him and his sister, and obviously he was the oldest, so he's
looking after her.
Yeah.
There's also they also encounter pretty early on like a police officer called Vanessa, who is in Security Breach, the game. She originates from there. And because with pre-knowledge of the game, I thought it would go in a very different direction. But generally, not a whole lot happens on a lot of the nights.
No, it is quite boring.
It is quite boring.
There was the one night where the fellas came up.
No, that's during the day. Like some people are paid by his aunt to like sabotage the place, and they get killed by the animatronics.
Make him look like he can't do his job.
Yeah, but don't forget,
he loses custody.
That's somehow his fault, even though it happened at a point in the day. He's not
at work.
No, it's because
not only
No, a bit of movement.
They got in through an unlocked door that he was supposed to have locked on the night.
Didn't they break it?
No, they broke. They like fucking broke him with like
pliers.
crowbars and shit.
Oh,
yeah,
it's not a very good plan.
Stupid plan, isn't it?
The police officer has a go at him for it, even though she was there as he left. Like she knows he wasn't there.
Vanessa is very annoying, quite frankly.
I swear, as well.
Having said that, she wouldn't. He'd be dead without her.
Yeah,
because that guy was like fucking useless.
He also would be like mad alive if she had just said something instead of being a weirdo about the whole situation.
She was just a bit of a freak. She, but she was though, wasn't she? She just left really cryptic like riddles and clues.
Rather than just telling him.
Exactly, and she just kind of like just would turn up while he's at work.
I mean,
and just hung out
we probably know why, given that the dad is.
Well, we'll come to that.
Well, spoilers.
And I swear she just didn't do her job either. She was too busy messing around.
Yeah, she didn't do her job.
There was like a family of 5 out there who's like been in a car crash and is dead while she's messing around.
And she's just chilling at Freddy Fazbear's having a fun time.
Exactly,
with this loner man.
Yeah, it's like this friggin' loser. Like.
One of the
sleeps on the job. So.
On one of the nights, I want to say, it's either the 3rd or the 4th. He has to bring his sister with him to work while he like fucking falls asleep again because he's fucking useless. And then he comes out to she goes missing while he's asleep, and he goes and finds them. And she's chilling out with the animatronics.
Yeah, they're just having a fun time building like fucking forts and stuff, and it's like, well.
It's like LOL.
So they all build fort. They all build a fort together, which is quite a criticised scene. Now, before when I'd seen this on Instagram, I thought, I mean, they are kids. They're doing kids stuff. That's okay, fine. They're doing that. What I didn't know is that at no point during the film did we ever actually do anything from the games, because understandably you can't have a whole game of him just sitting there on the cameras.
Yeah.
A film, sorry, of him sitting on the cameras, but that had to be like something. So
Has to be a core premise.
Yeah. So that they pissed it. So that he pisses off the animatronics. So the next night they decide they're going to attack him, and I thought, this is it. This is when the game happens, and then it just cuts, and he's like already in like the murder chair that they put him in. So they skipped like the game part of the movie.
The gameplay part of the movie. You just go straight to he's been caught now.
Yeah, they've just got like regular doors rather than like the iron doors that close. So he's caught, and he's on like he's on the machine that the same that the guy at the start gets killed by, which is like a Freddy head like comes on.
It's
him
almost
and,
a bit like a saw trap.
It is like a saw trap.
Yeah.
So the idea is that. Because the idea is that in the game there is a character called the phone guy who I quite missed in this movie, quite frankly, who calls you every night.
Yeah, he's like, hello.
Voiced by Scott Cawthon. Instead, we get like a training video, which isn't quite as fun, and he explains that the animatronics think you're an animatronic without a costume on, so they try to forcibly stuff you in. But I guess that's kind of what that's hearkening to. I'm not really entirely sure what they were doing there. They just wanted to kill. And they wanted to kill him so they could like have his like sister or whatever play with them.
in the game it explains that basically the animatronics can detect children, and they understand that children, keep them safe at all costs, but they see adults and they see them not as grown up children, but as like the endoskeleton without a suit on. So they try and put the endoskeleton in a suit, but obviously because the suit has got like the spring locks and stuff,
it kills you.
It will just kill you, yeah. It will just turn you into like mincemeat. So that's that's the company's explanation as to why the animatronics are trying to, hurt you and kill you. Whatever. But actually, it is because they are possessed as well, yeah. And they kind of, they have their own reasons. Because obviously the security guard has done bad stuff in the past. They see all security guards now as evil, and they try and deal with them.
So, while I think it was like funny as shit when like Bonnie fell over and did a thumbs up and all, there's just not really any like terror. There's no like him really trying to escape them or anything. Apart, I guess, like near the end.
It was just kind of like just one big joke. It was like, oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Time to sleep again.
I didn't see it as a horror movie. I saw it as a comedy.
Yeah, it was not funny.
Movie.
I didn't see it as anything. It wasn't scary and it wasn't funny. So
it was just a bit.
Like a bad comedy, not like
not a good funny
comedy for like 12-year-olds.
My favourite part was at the end where Alex said out loud in the cinema, "Well, that was shit," and that was the funniest part.
So
you said the same for Halloween.
Oh, Halloween Ends is far worse than this, to be honest.
Yeah,
this at least has some kind of story.
Halloween Ends is a travesty, but that's for another day.
Like, Halloween Ends Film FM episode? Question mark.
It does. This does have Matt Pat say.
Oh my God, yeah. So Matt Pat cameo. Yes.
There's a scene in a restaurant where like Matt Pat he shows up as like a waiter, like a really odd cringe ass waiter who's
no, it's sick. It's not weird or cringe. It's fucking amazing.
So he talks to them about how like lunch is the most important meal of the day or something, and they're like, I thought that was breakfast, and he goes, well, that's just a theory.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh
I
God,
love it.
I cringed in the cinema.
No, I love it. It's perfect.
It's embarrassing.
It's amazing.
My favourite character is actually the lawyer that goes around.
What's his name?
The lawyer's funny.
I want to say Doug. To be honest, I think that's his name. It is Doug as Jane's lawyer.
And she just abuses him, basically.
He's just terrified of her. And he's like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't. No, you stay.
He's actively the best character. It reminds me of, like, Come Fly With Me. With, like, the old woman and the dude.
So, on the night that... they try to kill... The animatronics try to kill Mike.
Yeah.
His sister is at home with his aunt. So, Golden Freddy... who is sort of the ringleader. He's like he's the kid that talks the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the chief of the kids almost.
Yeah, he's played by the guy who played Luke Skywalker in the Obi-Wan show.
Didn't know that.
I saw a bit of discourse online about which one's Freddy, which one's Golden Freddy, the kids, and I'm like, I feel like it's probably the one with the blonde hair. if I'm honest, mate.
Yeah.
And the one with the hat in the background is Freddy, and that's what the Wikipedia seems to say. So I feel like I'm right in that. Anyway, he goes to Mike's house and fucking murders his aunt off screen, which is another one of the off screen deaths.
So she's just there lying on the floor. It looks like she's just collapsed and she can't get up. Like someone call her an ambulance.
Yeah. So that causes a problem. But I'll complain about the aunt of it probably if I remember.
I will.
So they take Gone Freddy gets in a cab and he takes fucking.
He gets a taxi with a kid. Like it's so weird.
It's a nice shot.
And the taxi driver just looks at him and goes, "Oh, all right, sound mate, no worries. Where do you want to go?"
Where do you want to go, lad?
He was also a YouTuber, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name, but they have like a lot of cameos in this film.
Corey Williams is the
I haven't
guy.
watched his content, but I know he's a YouTuber.
He is an American YouTuber known for comedic playthroughs of horror games. So he's played Five Nights at Freddy's, I suppose. Anyway,
Fat.
so they have a pretty nice shot of like Golden Freddy and the girl outside the place.
Yeah, that's a cool little bit.
So they're willing to tell Mike in like a dream or whatever that the kids are willing to tell Mike what happened to his brother if they give up like his sister, and he agrees to it for like half a second. He's like, actually, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, like hang on, no, I need to.
So he has to go back and get her. He has to go rescue her. So Vanessa, the policewoman, she drops some law on him first, and then gives him a taser and refuses to go help him save her sister because she sucks. So she reveals that she's in fact the daughter of William Afton.
Dun dun dun.
And William Afton is the purple guy, or the
child murderer.
He's the child murderer because the animatronics are apparently scared of the yellow bunny, and that is sort of. So for a bit of game lore, the Golden Freddy and the Yellow Bunny, Spring Bunny, I don't fucking know the name of it. They were like some of the earlier animatronics.
Yeah, so they're the original two animatronics, and then obviously like the
franchise went out further from that.
Yeah, they expanded and moved on and left them behind.
Those out. You right, Adkins?
Yeah.
Okay, he's moving in your chair. Did you do like a jump or something? You okay?
He heard Golden Freddy and Spring Bunny. He was like, oh my
yeah,
God.
I got
excited,
super scared and excited.
Scared and excited.
Totally.
So those and the thing about those ones is that they have a special feature where they are animatronics, but you can like click a button and they become
a suit to wear. Yeah.
So William Afton, he her father killed 5 children and shoved the bodies into the animatronics, which is stupid, quite frankly, because. Okay.
I'm not being foxy.
I'm being funny.
I'm not being foxy. I'm not being funny.
You'd have to clean them.
Yeah, no. If you look at the design for Foxy, how the fuck do you fit a child inside of Foxy? Well, I get Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica because they have like quite big stomachs.
No, you'd still check though. I don't know.
Is.
I don't know if they describe. Like, I don't know if they say this in the film. I forget. But in the games, they say that people noticed blood and mucus coming from the animatronics.
Yeah, and like they stunk.
What kind of it doesn't take a genius to figure out what's in them.
No, they just thought, these guys they're a bit stinky.
The blood is probably just.
There's blood coming out the nose and mouth and eyes. Let's just move them to the back. They must be malfunctioning.
Yeah. I mean, my favourite bit is this police
Don't worry
officer,
about it, mate.
even though she actively knows.
She knows exactly what's happening.
She knows her father is a serial killer.
Like, yeah.
She's just not.
I get it.
100% behind it.
It's your dad. But your dad has also murdered about 6 different children. And
I mean, you might be a bit scared of him, but
because it's more than 5, because his brother is not one of the 5 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
So he could have done like fucking loads,
exactly.
man.
So it's not like she has to confront him. She works for the police. You don't even need to call the police. Just go
to a boss and be like,
okay.
all right, mate, listen, my dad,
Look,
he's done some bad stuff.
She could have the whole station down.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
start shooting the place up. We could really get that, flatten the guy.
So he goes to go rescue his sister because they're going to murder and try and shove her into like an animatronic suit, which kind of looks like I think Baby is what it's called from Sister Location.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's dead on that, but it looks similar.
It looks very similar too.
So he's got like the taser, and he has to, and all the animatronics are like playing a song or something. He has to like taser them all. If I'm honest, he dispatches them pretty easily.
Yeah, they look like they're just playing a show, but they're kind of like on lookout and looking for anyone trying to stop them.
Because and also like I forget why, but they also obey They obey William Afton.
It's the pictures.
The picture. Okay, so there's a weird.
Yeah, so there's pictures up on the wall, and the pictures show like, oh yeah, look, the golden bunny suit, is really, really nice. All the kids love him, and because they're kids themselves, they're like, oh yeah, we love him. through some pictures, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so the way to jump a bit, the way they get the animatronics to turn on him is by like the little girl draws a picture of him being bad and sticks it on the wall, and now they know.
And now they hate him. And
it's nonsense, to be quite frank.
It don't make no sense whatsoever.
But anyway, so the man, the myth, the legend himself, Springtrap. I mean, the golden bunny suit shows up. It's called Springtrap in the game because it's like all fucked up and broken.
It's not Springtrap yet because he's not stuck in the suit. Like at this point, he can still get in and out of the suit.
But the suit is like much more damaged. So he shows up with his knife. He does the one thing I did like is he does the thing from Scrape. The Ghostface does where he like cleans
he
the
wipes
knife.
The knife.
It's a nice little reference considering he is played by the same actor. And it turns out that Steve Raglan, his career counsellor, is in fact William Afton.
Yep.
And one of the things that points to that earlier in the film is when he reads like Mike's last name, you can clearly see him like pause and like be like, "Oh shit,"
I know this guy.
I know who this is because he killed his brother.
LOL.
And he beats the fuck out of Mike, quite frankly. And then Vanessa shows up with her gun and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna help now," and she gets fucking stabbed by her dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's fucking going for it. He's hamming it up. He's doing great, I feel.
Yeah. Putting in work, doing the best.
In the Insecurity Breach, Vanessa is also like a serial killer. She's called like Vanny or something.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that actually. In the games, like she's a bad person, but in the film, like
she's all right.
That's what I mean. It don't make no sense.
I don't think she's his daughter. I think she's just like.
No, she's not. In the game, she's not his daughter.
To pull some bollocks.
Well, like a henchwoman or something.
No, because he's dead by the point of security breach.
Like she's like following in his footsteps and carrying on his legacy.
Brainwashed by the weird AI from the VR game. The story doesn't make any sense, but she's like a killer as well. You got to avoid her or whatever. But the point is, in this, she's like fine until she's a bitch. I mean, she's annoying, quite frankly, and useless. But she's not evil. She gets stabbed, and then they've all got a fight. William Afton, and he's like mocking Mike Schmidt, but then of course as we said, his like Mike's sister, fucking what is her name?
Draws the picture. I don't know now. I forget.
She's
Abby. Can't remember.
That's
Abby.
So he sticks
she's like
it
7 or something.
So he sticks it on. She sticks the picture of Springtrap being bad on the wall, and suddenly the animatronics now know they've been like murdered by him.
Yeah, they become conscious and sentient all of a sudden. Oh my god, I've been murdered by this guy. What the fuck? Like
So the cupcake. Okay, the cupcake. We're going to talk about the cupcake. So Chica's got a cupcake that she carries around with her. That thing is fucking vicious. It performs, I feel, most of the kills in the movie.
Yeah,
for some reason.
It's on violence like the whole film.
Actively more dangerous than any of the other animatronics.
It's like the animatronics just stand there, and this cupcake is just wiping the floor, man.
It does probably leave with the only like actively gruesome kill where you see the dude's munched up face.
Because we did have the one where like Freddy bit a woman in half, but that was black and white.
Yeah,
not black and white, sorry, silhouetted.
Yeah, exactly.
But the point is, they like the cupcake like bites William Afton, and the suit like it does the thing that all the FNAF fans are waiting for. I saw it all over Instagram. The fucking Springlock scene where he gets like goes back into a suit and it like munches him. And he like gets killed.
Why does it do that though? Like,
because they're like,
they're all like they're all like broken. Like it's like a broken old suit, so it's faulty.
Oh.
In the third game, where they show you like a little 8-bit mini game where it where he gets spring locked, it's like it's because it's wet in the building because they mention on the tapes that like if they get wet they'll like snap or whatever. Yeah,
so it's like they're in like a really old abandoned building, obviously like they are in the film, and like you could tell like there's holes in the roof or something, and rain's falling in. And
he might have. Did he try to taser him as well?
Yeah, that didn't work at all.
Yeah, but
he's
that
not
might have
that maybe that did something.
Yeah,
but I think generally it was the cupcake chewing it at it. So that makes he like collapses to the floor and he's getting all murdered, and it's kind of gruesome.
It's a really cool scene, I think.
I think it's pretty cool, and they drag him into the back room, and in one of the last scenes of the film, you do see him like sort of like
he's just sitting there like kind of like he's
shaking,
still alive,
which
like
is in. That's like from the trailer for FNAF 3. He's like shaking about because he's like dying in there. Yeah. And that's quite cool. And then like Golden Freddy shuts the door on him. Although, bone to pick here, all over Instagram before the film came out, I saw so many reels of FNAF fans like me when the Springlock scene happens and all the kids are traumatized. I think FNAF fans think they're really edgy, and they're always talking about how like FNAF isn't a kids game, because you do see like there's this weird misconception that like if something's made for kids, it can't be enjoyed by older people. So there's like you see on Instagram like people say X thing is for kids, and it's all clips of like the worst, like most gruesome parts of something. But like, oh, this is the Clone Wars scene where Darth Maul cut a dude's head off. And then I've seen a bunch of those for FNAF right before the movie came out, but they were all content from fan games, and it's like you're not helping yourself. It's like, it's got a kid, it's a majorly a kid audience, and that's fine, you know.
That's why I think it's a 12.
Yeah, and like, well, it should have been a 12, but like, then I just think these aren't, they're not quite as dark as the fans would lead you to believe. And also like they're talking about how like edgy how cool they are for not caring about the Springlock scene, and at the same time Saw X is in cinema. You know what I mean? Like I think the fan base annoys me a bit as well.
No offense, I wish FNAF was way worse than that Springtrap scene was.
I wish it was real. I wish the FNAF franchise was as bloody and violent as the fans try to convince you it is, because that'd be pretty sick.
It'd be cool then, and it's cool.
But that being said, the Springlock scene is cool. I feel
the thing is the movie's got some. It's got some promising parts. You know, the Springlock suit and some parts of it, like, are promising and they're cool. And then it feels like it just ruins it, like with the Bonnie doing the thumbs up and building the fort together, and it's just...
I think the actual effects of the animatronics are cool.
Yeah, they look sick.
They work. Like, the problem is the entirety of the rest of the film, right? Yeah. So they got the props right. Okay, so the props are fine.
The location looks, really, really, really cool. The animatronics look amazing.
They got the location and props, but they just didn't know how to use any of them and made an awful story.
Yeah,
right?
It's like they put all the budget into the location and the animatronics and the actors, and then there was like, oh shit, we've only got about like £3 left for like the script writers and stuff. Fuck it, it'll be fine.
No, yeah. So end of the film, he's dying or whatever, and then Vanessa is in a coma now, and Mike has managed to remain custody of his sister, which is weird because his aunt was killed in his fucking front room.
Yeah, not sure how that.
And they don't mention that.
Don't give a damn.
They don't give a damn.
It's like she dies and everyone just forgets about it.
Forgets she exists.
No one like. Okay,
it's like, bearing in mind the authorities don't know
Yeah.
that these animatronics exist and can do what they do. And
the only one who does.
To be fair, the aunt was a bitch.
No, yeah, but you can't
you can't just kill someone.
No, but how did he get away with that? Like, I know he didn't do it, but they don't know that she's dead in his front room.
I think of the context.
The person trying to take his sister away from him in a court battle was murdered in his fucking house.
You know how they did it?
How?
Better Call Saul.
That does make sense.
Saul sorted it out.
I reckon he just buried her.
Saul sorted it out for him so they could live happily ever after. Until the events of FNAF 3 take place in Five Nights at Freddy's the movie 2.
So they did actually say, not Matthew Patrick, Matthew Lillard has signed a 3-picture deal as William Afton. So Scott Cawthon has said that depending on the success of the film, which mind you, it has made a shit ton of money, so they will make another one.
Yeah, it did.
How much money did it make? Like a few $100 million.
Box office.
It wouldn't be.
As of November 19th, Five Nights at Freddy's has grossed $132.6 million in the United States and $139.2 million in
way
other
more
territories.
than it cost to make the film. So overall, it was a success.
Yeah,
and it got a lot of bad publicity, I think, because following its release, but it was still commercially successful. So
if it made over 100, I'd say that's a good amount, but. And from what you're saying, the budget wasn't astounding.
It wasn't astonishingly high. So it was technically a commercial success. Whether it was like a success in the eyes of audience and
critics.
Critics didn't love it. I don't think
it didn't get the best reviews on.
What did it get? Like a 6 out of 10 on IMDb?
5.4 from the looks of things. 5.5. Sorry, it's currently out.
That's quite
bad.
Damning.
Yeah. Also. It was a budget of under 20 million.
Overall, the film was a huge commercial success.
It's made more than 10 times its budget.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a success in the eyes of critics and audiences.
But they've got another crack at it.
Yeah.
So Scott Cawthon has said that the 2 subsequent films will be adapting the second and third games.
Okay.
So the second game is going to be what's that? That's 1987. That's a prequel. Okay, that could be interesting, I guess. And then the third one will be the grand sort of the third one. What's it?
Grand reopening. It's like a
no, not grand reopening. It's the third one it's the horror
Fazbear
attraction.
Fright.
Yeah, Fazbear Fright, which has Springtrap in it.
Yeah, but it's the opening of that. It's like it's
opening up soon.
Yeah, so it's like the very first location where like the first 5 kids got murdered, and obviously Springtrap's in the back in the board.
They found that, and then they brought it over to Fazbear Fright.
Yeah, and yeah.
I'm quite excited for the second one then, if it's gonna be a prequel, and like I guess they'd have like the de-age Matthew Lillard somehow. But, you know,
make him look like Shaggy. From
make him look like Shaggy
ago.
again, you know. But anyway, does anyone want to see more FNAF movies?
I mean,
I'll watch another one. I think.
I'd go and watch it. Whether I'd actually, whether it would be good and whether I'd enjoy it is a different question. But I would, if they, announced tomorrow that there was FNAF 2 was 100% confirmed and coming out on this date, I would go and see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really got a good film franchise out at the moment, so this can take over from your Marvels and Harry Potters.
Yeah, forget the MCU. We've got the FCU now. No, FNAFCU, Five Nights at Freddy's Cinematic Universe. Fuck yeah, FNAFCU.
Okay, so out of 10, Ladkins, what would you give it?
I'm just gonna go by my honest opinion. It'd probably be low for you guys, but given what I saw, I'll give it an average 6. So slightly higher than...
That's high?
Slightly higher. Okay, 5.5. Can you do 0.5s? Or...
No, we want full numbers here.
We want whole numbers here.
Well, that rounds up to 6 anyway. So
alright, so
6.
Ladkins is a 6.
Average at best.
Okay.
At best, average.
So, at best, the film is probably about a 4.
You know what? Me and Connor seem to be in sync with these ratings. I agree.
That's probably because it was a massive disappointment to people that have played the games.
I'd give it a 3.
True.
You know what? I agree, but I also completely disagree because I think either way the film is...
It's terrible anyway.
Fail.
Have any of you seen Willy's Wonderland?
No.
Willy's Wonderland is a film with what's his name? Nicolas Cage, where he is a night guard at an establishment
I've heard about this, actually,
with animatronics.
Yeah, right.
The only difference is he beats the fuck out of them.
Yeah, he's honestly like just an absolute unit. He just goes around
unit.
Beating it.
That sounds way cool.
I've heard some really good things about that film.
I've showed it to. I think since it's come out, every friend I've had, I've made sure to show them that movie.
That sounds way cool.
It's really cool. We should totally do that instead. We should do that as a sequel. We should do that as an episode.
Hell yeah, man. I'm down for that.
Hell yeah.
I guess that's about it then. So,
Yeah, that's a wrap.
That's another episode. Thanks for coming on, Ladkins.
Thank you very much. It's been amazing having you here. Let's hear it. A round of applause for Ladkins.
Come here again for Prisoners.
Yeah.
If that actually ever happens. I'm looking forward to the Prisoners episode, I must admit.
Yeah, one of these.
Given the fact that I watched it like a month ago.
He watched it after,
I might have to rewatch it just to... a recap in my mind.
Exactly.
I'd be happy to watch it again. We should do like a group viewing.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Well, listening. So, please follow this fucking Spotify if you wouldn't mind. You know
please.
What I mean?
We need to get our numbers up. We need to overtake Joe Rogan.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell all your friends, your family, your dog, whatever. And we'll speak to you in the next one. That's it from me.
Thank you very much, guys. See you later.
See you later.
All right. See you in a bit. Bye.